Transformers Pinyahatadam. To the waters, to the elders. My whole Bible just disintegrated. The waters to the elders and apostles of great most all do will teach well. Those without the peace, love, and blessings to the Lord's elect. Brother here, today, we're going to keep camp brief as usual. We're just going to speak on a few things. Found some articles that I found were pretty interesting. One of them was talking about basically how United States productivity is decreasing. We know that we've been in a recession according to the basic definition of the word for I want to say, a few months now we've been in a recession. Even when they used SEI, I think that's what George Gammon called it. 26 out of the 50 states are in a monetary recession. They basically say the entire United States is in a recession. So according to that, we are in a recession. Even though we are getting inflation down and prices will drop, right? Because of things the Fed has been doing, it won't really ever get back to pre 2019, 2020 levels. So just know that things are still falling. And pretty much we're in a state right now where if something did happen, it would pretty much unravel everything. It's just probably going to be the next thing. It's locked here for my hair. Not really looking at the part because I have my hood on. But before we get to those articles, I'm just going to get into a basic lesson. We're just going to be speaking on Genesis, the first chapter. This book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, it says God created heaven and earth. Okay? If you read this isn't talking about the supreme being, the supreme Lord. It's not talking about Lord who we know in the Paleo Hebrew as Yahweh. This is talking about the angels. So this is going to prove it. So today it's just going to be very basic stuff. It's very rudimentary for us, but it just felt necessary to go over it again so that we know. Actually, I'm just going to go to King James because that would be much faster. Let's see. Quick second. Because I got this tablet on Tether. It's taking a little bit of time. Hold on. The Safari that I like to use, not Chrome. Just give me one quick second. So, click the word God. It's Allahayim, which means powers, the powers. Right, Allah, right, which is the same word the Muslims use, right, because the Arabic comes out of the Paleo Hebrew. The same way as do all the words. The word Allah just simply means powers. Right, so when you say Allahayim, just saying the powers. Right, the Lord Yahweh is a power. He's the power of the universe. Yahweh Shai, right? These are the powers, right? He's a power, right? Obviously under the Lord Yahweh, right? Because the Lord Yahweh created Yahweh Shai, created the rest of the angels, right? Which you don't have to get that one, but Yahushua is the firstborn of every creature, right? Which that happened before this. Yahweh created the angels, created Yahushua and the angels, and then they went forth and created, right, the heaven and the earth, right? So everything, right? And you got that Shemayim, right? But you're gonna read about that later on, right? Everything, the ozone layer, atmosphere, right? Everything we created. Verse 2. And earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the spirit of the Most High moved upon the face of the waters. The spirit of the Alahayim, it's God, or the spirit of the powers. Right? So the earth was without form and void. Right? So the earth was without form and void. The earth was there, but the earth was in its elemental stage. I guess what they call that element table. That shows the different elements, the iron, like nickel, copper, things like that. Those things were all around, but pretty much that's what the earth was in. The earth was in its elemental stage. It was not in a completely solid state, right? As I'm in a solid state, or say, let's just say even with like air, like water evaporates, it kind of gets out of that solid state and kind of becomes in a gaseous form. Right? It's kind of elemental form, and it goes, up. And, what is it called? Condensation, and it comes back down as rain. Right? Read verse 2 again. The earth was all form and void. The darkness was on the face of the deep. I talked about space, right? And the spirit of the powers moved upon the face of the waters. Alright, so let's go read this precept here that the brother had. 2 Peter 3 and 5. For this they are willingly or ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High, the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water. Which we're going to talk about that later on. With earth standing out of the water, in the water. Right? The earth, right, out of the water, in the water. So we know that out is basically like the ozone layer, the atmosphere, the sky, things like that. And in the water, it means the water that is actually in the earth. You have something called groundwater that's actually physically within, under the ground. Out here in Ithaca, you'll even see that yourself. You see people having their own septic tanks, and they'll have like their own, like, I don't think septic tank is the right thing, but they have their own tanks where they have water, right? And that's because you have water that's actually under the earth, right? And the scriptures talk about it. Let's read on. That's the precept for that. I didn't know about that one, but I know that one was there. Genesis 1 and 3. Now I said, let there be light, and there was light. And I himself, the light, that was good. And the powers, I would say the powers, just to be circumspect. The powers divided the light from the darkness. Alright, so every atom, you could look this up for yourself, but every atom basically has light source, and there's actually a test that you can do with like chemistry, where if you like put a burner on certain elements, that it will actually give a certain color, and that's actually how you tell what element is what, because each element kind of has a certain color and light that it gives. Alright, so not only was the sun and the moon already created, it's not only the sun and the moon, so if you give light to the planet, it's also the atoms. They also have a light source. Verse 4, and the power saw the light, that was good. Power divided the light from the darkness. And the power is called the light day, and the darkness, he, which really should be day, called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Okay, so Let's go here. 2 Peter 3 and 8. I had no idea. Yeah, it is 2 Peter 3. I knew this one was here. I know the scripture. I just didn't know it was all in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. So 2 Peter 3 and 8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day with the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. Right? So 1,000 years for the Lord are as one day. Okay, so every time you read in Genesis, the 1st chapter, it talks about the first day, the 2nd day, the 3rd day. These represents 1,000 years. And so the first 1,000 years, they created this thing. The second 1,000 years, they went to create the next. And so on and so forth. Right? Right, that's also, let's talk about that. So it's also your age, man. You on this earth, you can be like 50 years old. That's what is that, like not even, that's way below half, man. It's like not even 30% of 1,000 years. It's not even 20% of 1,000 years. So that just puts things into perspective, that the time on this earth right now in these fleshly bodies is really just a blip to the Lord. All these people that have lived and came and gone, so-called great men, they've lived and died, and that was it. Right? Since I mentioned that, I might as well get something here. Get something to make my point. It's not fucking working here. Okay. We'll just look it up. I've got this one a long time ago. There you go. Psalm 146:1. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Behold, O my soul, while I live, will I praise the Lord. I will sing praises unto my power, while I have any being, to my God. Put not your trust in princes, nor in the Son of Man, in whom there is no help. Right, so don't put your trust in these people. These people out here in the world. The Son of Man, these people, your princes, your governors, leaders, and a lot of people out here. It's very sad to see too, because it's like a cult. These people have complete and total control over the people. People trusting in their senators and leaders, and basically believe that these people can save them. But they're so ignorant to see that all your senators and leaders, they're all funded by the same people. Most of your senators are all funded by the banks. How else do you think they get the money to promote themselves and do these campaigns, to go on tours? They got all that money from being in college? Fucking ridiculous. Alright? They got all that money from banks. The banks fund them, and they do what the banks tell them to. Right? The servant, the borrower is the servant to the lender. Alright? So the banks give them the money, and they got to do what they tell them to do. That's why there hasn't been the great change, rather from the left or the right, that the people really want. No side is going to give you the change that you want, because both sides are subservient to the same people. Right? And all the banks that these politicians are subservient to are subservient to BlackRock, and what was the other one? It's BlackRock and something else, but basically the largest investment companies in the world. They run the banks. To the point the Fed actually ran to BlackRock. And certain people in BlackRock have actually worked with the administration in this country, which shows you that you can't put your trust in these people, because all the people are all subservient to the elite banking families. Really, at the end of the day, they're subservient to BlackRock, and BlackRock subservient to the elite banking families. So everything goes back to them. Alright, so you can't put your trust in them, because these guys aren't independent entities that can actually make the change and actually get you the things that you really want. They can't help it, basically. right? Verse 4, his breath goes forth, he returned to his earth, and every day his thoughts perish. Right? So that every day your thoughts perish, right? So it means everything is just like a blip to the Lord. And then you live, and then you die. So don't trust these people. Right? You can only trust in the Most High. Right? Trust in your brothers, trust in the Most High. Trust in the Most High and trust in your brothers. My brothers that are in their right mind. Right? Brothers in GMS. Oh, let's see. Verse 6. And the power shall to be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters, which we just read about. Right? The ozone layer basically dividing the space from us, right, in the sky. Verse 7, and all the powers made the firmament, and divide the waters which were under the firmament, and the waters which were above the firmament. The waters which are above the firmament is space. And it was so. All I am called the firmament heaven, and heaven in the morning were the second day. Right? And that makes sense, because obviously people can't survive in space. That's why we can do bodies, because if you be in space, you will die. Right? If you walk out in space, say you were to take a spaceship in space, and you were just to take your helmet off, you would die immediately. You would basically just choke out. You know? You would choke out and die really damn near easily. They show you in the movies. I don't know the real science of it all, but I just know that you'll die. You know? Probably instantly if you did that. I got some protesters around here, probably protesting the local Starbucks, you know, as if that fucking matters, but whatever, you know. But just keep teaching. Verse 8, and all him called the firmament heaven, and heaven in the morning were the second day. So this is the second thousand of the year. And the power said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And the power called the dry land earth, and the gathering together the waters called the seas. So it was good. You know, the earth is like what? It's like 80% water. Oh shit. Yeah, the earth is like about 80% water. It's mostly water. You look at satellite photos, right? We know that on one side, on the eastern side, you have the Atlantic Ocean. On the left side, on the western side, you have the Pacific. You know, so that's what we got basically. Pretty sure I'm getting that right. Pretty sure I'm right. But you know, the water's all over the place, man, everywhere. And we're gonna speak more about the waters in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree, and the fruit after his kind, and seeds of itself upon the earth. And it was so. That's the beginning of all these herbs, plants, and things that you see, right? The herbs that you can take. You know, when I get some more money, I'm actually going to buy an herb myself called, I think it's called valerian root. Really good for sleep, apparently. So that's what I want. I want to be able to get some like really fast, good quality, deep sleep. You know, for ideally 10 hours. You know, which is going to help my memory, help me stay sharp. You know, I don't want to just fucking deteriorate before your eyes now. You know, I want to, stay together. You know, it's good as having all this muscle when you're not sleeping well. Your insides aren't functioning correctly. We're fucking good as that, right? Now all these herbs, plants, and stuff, certain things were better back then too, like the grapes. They were bigger. The scriptures talk about that you need 2 men to hold the grapes. So the grapes were bigger back then. Nowadays the grapes are very small. That's basically taking that away. It made the grapes very tiny over time, right? Where nowadays you probably need about 10 to 20 grapes to fill you, possibly even more if you're doing like a lot of aerobics, If you're having a long day of work, you probably need more than that. Just saying, if you're eating grapes by themselves, if you're eating like, I don't know, meal grapes, like some granola or something, or some oatmeal, I don't know, just making something up here, you probably need more of that, right? And even the meat, which is not going to talk about that yet, but the meat had flavor back then. Nowadays, with meat, you have to put all these spices and stuff all over. Verse 13, the earth brought together the grass, the herb yielding seed of his kind, the tree yielding fruit whose seed was in itself of his kind. The power saw that it was good. And so the earth brought together all these herbs, plants, seeds, and all these things. And power brought that to be. Okay? And all these things are in themselves because they're all in order. You're not supposed to mix them. Verse 13, the evening and the morning were the third day, 3,000th year. Right? So let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, to be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and for years. Right? So let's go check out the King James, because I know this one that I'm probably going to get. That's in Sirach. It's an Apocrypha. It's a really good one. Very simple breakdown here. So let's just go into it, speak on it, and move on. So let's see. That's not what I'm looking for. Here we go. We're at like 13 or so. Lights for days and for years. So there's a few precepts. All right. So lights in the firmament of the stars. Right, for signs and celestial bodies. All right. From our signs from the Most High that something needs to happen. Right. So let's get Sirach 43:6-8. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times, the sign of the world, which you're reading right now. The moon, the what we're reading right now, is about the stars, right? But the moon is going to come in a few more verses. Actually, we're going to hold off on this and read about the moon being created first, because it's very rudimentary information. Things rudimentary, yes, but rather important to know, to remind ourselves about. Verse 5, let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and they will serve like the stars. Verse 16, and Elohim of the powers made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. Right? So all these things he created. Right? Elohim set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. So you read about the stars, the moon, and the sun, right? Verse 18, and to rule over the day, over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness, and the power saw that it was good. The evening and the night, the fourth day. It's 4,000 years. Okay, so now let's get this one. So, Sirach 43:6, he made the moon to serve her season for declaration of times and sign of the world. When the moon is a sign of peace and light and increase in her perfection. Right. See here, the moon wanes, increase for perfections. Right. That's right. The moon wanes. Right. That's where we get the new moons. The new moon came in last week, Saturday to Sunday. Now that's the new Shabbat. If we keep it from Saturday sundown to Sunday sundown, which is tonight. Around 5:15, Shabbat begins, and it ends tomorrow at exactly 5:15 or 5:20 or so. So that's the time where you do no work, as we all know. So let's just keep speaking here. Move on. Verse 8. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully. They're changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. Alright, so you get the word month from, it's the moon. Verse 19, the evening and the morning of the fourth day. Verse 20, and Elohim said, Power said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that has life, and fowl that may fly above the earth, and an open firmament in heaven. The power created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly, their kind, and every winged fowl to his kind. The power said, and good. So everything, all the people that you see, they came in during this time. These people, they were different, right? You had other nations back then too. But you had Adam, which was the chosen nation, as we all know in the scriptures. This is where Adam comes to the picture, but Adam didn't have order yet. Right? So all the things you see now, the whales, animals, they were all here. And I believe the other apostles even say dinosaurs were too, which I think they say is the behemoth. But they say, the brother said in the flood, they basically will move to a different part of the world. And then in time, they will come back to wreak havoc, basically, is what I remember. Also, Leviathan, which you all know, sea creature. We don't know exactly how Leviathan is, but we know it's a very powerful sea creature that lies in the deep. Where, we don't really know. But Leviathan will make an appearance during the final days of this country to basically wreak havoc and destroy this place. So, yeah, along with the missiles and all that other stuff, it's gonna be pretty rad, for us, not for you. Speak it towards you, Edomites, the people up there. Verse 22, and the powers blessed him, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let fowl multiply upon the earth. Right, and that's why even your body's muscles are 70% water and 15% protein. All right, so these bodybuilders and these people out here saying between 300, 400, 500 grams of protein, absolutely unnecessary, because the body is mostly water. Does that mean you should drink 5 gallons of water a day and that's just going to give you gigantic muscles? No, because you have something called water poisoning that will fuck you up. So you want to drink a good amount of water, and really with the muscle, maybe 50% protein. You should get some protein in your diet, have some carbohydrates, spare the protein to actually be used, to keep your body in the positive nitrogen balance. Because the thing that makes protein different from carbohydrates and fats is the fact that the protein sources have nitrogen, and your body uses the nitrogen. So if you keep your body in positive nitrogen balance, then it'll help you to build the muscle. And all that stuff will build the muscle. It's very, very slow. It'll take some time, and it's not going to happen in just a month or two. It's going to take a long time to really grow. Long continuous work. All right. Verse 23, and even the morning of the 5th day. Right? And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth the living creature of his kind, cattle, creeping thing, and the beast of the earth of his kind, and so the powers made the beast of the field, and the beast of his kind, the cattle of their kind, everything that creeps upon the earth of his kind. Power so that is good. Power said, let us make man in our image, to our likeness, let them make the moon over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing. So, they create upon the earth, right? Make man in our image, pretty much make man, right? So take Adam, pretty much make Adam in our image, basically give Adam laws, right? So, let's go prove the point. Basically, the angels of God, they never sin. So, let's see if you could prove that. That real quick. Sirach 18:3, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, all things obey his will, for he is the king of all, by his power, dividing holy things among them from profane. Alright, so everything is in the power of the Lord. That's to be from the top, Sirach 18:1. He liveth forever and created all things in general, which we just read, which we're reading about, just the first chapter. Sirach 18:2, the Lord only is righteous, and there is none but he. Right, so no one is righteous but the Lord. Right? The Lord is the only one who is righteous. Right? He's the only one that's good. We look at the word God. God actually means good. Right? So supreme being, supreme Lord over all things, over the universe. He's the only good. The only thing that's good. Yahushua said himself, why callest thou me good? There's no good but the Father. Alright, so none of us in this thing is truth or good. None of us are good. We're just trying our best, taking things a day at a time, trying to be better, trying to get tighter, trying to get more neurologically efficient at bringing out this truth of the scriptures. That's what we want. To be able to bring out the truth, bring out the scriptures, so on and so forth, have the understanding, and be able to teach people, which other people around you, some of you brothers are, how do I say this, are fortunate enough to have brothers around you to teach, people around you to teach. I don't, so I'll teach you to the phone, teach to your brothers out here, and watch me online, right? Verse 3, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, all things obey his will, for he is the king of all, by his power, dividing holy things among them from profane. Right? That's why we have laws. We're just reading about right now, right? The Lord gave the blueprint, to Yahushua and the angels. They pretty much are doing this, and this is what we're talking about right here, giving the Adamites order to pretty much govern the entire earth, and to have people doing the things that are holy, not the things that are profane. Because the laws were around back then. The laws were basically orally given. They weren't written yet. So things like going against homosexuality, that wasn't around back then. Right? That was heavily disencouraged or unencouraged, right? Because there was order. Verse 4. To whom hath he given power to declare his works, and who shall find out his noble acts? And that's pretty much the point. There's more. If I can't find it, I'll just say this. You can read about this in the Book of Kings. But basically, I can't remember which king it was, but one of the kings of Northern Kingdom, I think. Basically, one of the angels was like, I'll put a lying spirit on him, and then the Lord basically okayed it and let it go down. Oh my gosh. Where is it? Fuck. Is this it? Oh, yes, finally. Psalm 103:20. Bless the Lord, ye his angels, that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word. Right? That was pretty much it. Right? The angels follow the Lord. They just serve. They don't go off. They read about this, this special narrative you guys got out here. Saying that, there we go. Sirach 16:27, he garnishes his works forever, in his hands the chief of them unto all generations. They neither labor nor are weary nor cease from their works. Exactly. So the angels, they just constantly do the Lord's will. They don't do anything else but the Lord wants them to do. Verse 28. None of them hither another, they shall never disobey his word. So angels don't have infighting. Angels don't fight one another. They don't have battles. And, say, hey, nigga, what you fucking say to me, nigga? No. Angels don't do that, man. Angels aren't like us. We have fighting and, this and that and other shit. Even within the truth, shit happens. And it's like, this and that, right? Angels aren't like that at all. There's no nothing. It's just pure servitude, man. They just do the Lord's work and that's it. Something that's beyond our mortal understanding as we are right now. Because we can't see them. And you don't want to see them because it's not good. You in your mortal flesh, you couldn't handle it. It would fuck you up. It's like basically say it's like I'll say it's like more workout term. Say it's like you can only bench like 225, and now they put 405 on the bar. As soon as you pick it up, it fucking crushes you. That's the best analogy that I could give. It will destroy you, man. All right, there's certain things you don't want to open your mind up to. Just leave it the fuck alone. Just focus on the truth. Focus on the basics, and move on from there, man. Right, verse 27. So Elohim created man in his own image, the image of the powers. Created he them, created he him, which is really them. Male and female created he them. Okay. The powers blessed them. The powers said to them, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth. So do it, get dominion over the fish and the sea, of the fowl of the air, and of the living thing that moveth upon the earth. Alright, so it's the sons. Whatever, the sons of Adam. You just say Adamites, right? Basically, to control everything, right? The rulership, right? Everything that moves, right? The people, the animals, right? And the animals had fear and dread of us back then. The Lord stripped that away from us. That's why we even have in the laws, it talks about if an ox gores a man, we're supposed to kill the ox. Because the animals don't fear us anymore. The animals used to fear us back then, but not anymore. Back in those days, I believe the earth is around 12 to 13,000 years old. There's even a scripture that talks about it. Back in those days, the animals, they feared us. Like, you wouldn't get fucking like a mosquito sting you, or you wouldn't have like a cockroach get into your home or some shit like that. Or you walking down the street and you see a fucking big ass rat. It wasn't like that back then. Because you read about that later on for yourself. Animals went off, then the Lord, brought judgment on them, and now the judgment came upon not just them; it really came upon everybody. It came upon sons of Adam, right, which eventually become us, right, Israelites, chosen seed line. But as well as the other nations, they all have to deal with it now too, because they're under us, they're under our command, under our control. So let's see if we can something I'm thinking of. I'm going to get something to prove the point. But first I'll get this one. I don't know what this one is. I forgot. So that's what we're reading right now. 2nd Esdras chapter 3. Alright, verse 4. The Lord, the Yahweh, who beareth rule, thou speakest at the beginning, when thou didst plant the earth, and thou thought thyself alone, and commandest the people. Right? He gave a body to Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of right hands, and this breathed into him the breath of life. He was made living before thee. And that's what we're reading about right now. Right? Yeah, the Lord gave Adam a body and gave him a soul and gave into him the breath of life. Right? Meaning to make him alive, spiritually alive. To have him do his will. Right? Crazy it is for 10,000 years. Well, barring certain times the break the scripture seals from us, we've been doing it for thousands of years, for millennia, and even right now, we're still carrying out the same laws and ordinances that was given out all those tens of thousands of years ago. Right? It's still around today. Basic things. First 10 commandments around back then. Right? Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's possession, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not abuse thy power, things like that. What is it? Thou shalt not curse thy mother or thy father. Things like that. They've been around for generations, for thousands of years, and we're still following them. Verse 6, thou leadest him into paradise, which is thy right hand, which thy right hand planted forever the earth came forward. That's right. So the commandments above thy will, which he transgressed, and immediately thou apprentice death in him in his generations, of whom came nations, tribes, people, kindreds, out of number. Alright, that's what happened. Alright. So where do we want to go to now? We probably want to go back. Right. And Eden means paradise, by the way. Let's go ahead and get that. Because, Eden, Adon, pleasure. Pleasure, paradise, same thing. Right? Because the earth was originally made to be, pleasurable for us. Adam being Yahushai, it was made to be paradise. It was made to be, we're supposed to enjoy life. It's not like nowadays things are so dreary. You can't even really have connections with people because the people are just women are just so gone. They're dyeing their hair. They're doing some fucking weird shit now. You can't really have decent connections or any sort of interpersonal relations with people. People are all narcissists and they care about themselves and they want, but originally the earth wasn't created to be that way. Right? The earth was originally created to be paradise for man, not to be a fucking prison, which is what it is now. As I said before, the meat, I didn't speak about this yet, but the meat back then had flavor. It came out with flavor. You didn't have to put all those herbs in it. You just cook it right up and eat it. It was good. Nowadays, you have to put spices and herbs, this and that, and that, and this and that, and this. When I make some chicken breasts, I have to take pepper, a little bit of salt, whatever. A bunch of different things. Trader Joe's, everything seasoning. I have to put a bunch of stuff on that piece of chicken breast just for it to not taste like, like some fucking jail food. Make me feel like I'm gonna, rope myself or some shit. It's like eating chicken breast with nothing in it, man. That's not good. So let's continue reading on. This is the wrong thing. Verse 28. The powers, the angels, blessed them. Power said unto them, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and of the fowl of the air, and of everything that moves upon the earth. And the powers said, behold, I have given you every herb yielding seed upon the face of the earth, and every tree which is the fruit, and every tree yielding seed to you, it shall be for meat. And I believe actually that was in Paul's, as they say it, back then we were actually vegan. We didn't need to eat meat. But nowadays we do. But I believe that because even now, medical science is actually proving that you don't really need all that meat. You just need a good amount of it to maintain good nitrogen balance. But beyond that, you don't need it. Really eating a bunch of excess meat in the form of excess calories is just going to get you fat. Two shall be for me. There's 30 to every beast of the earth, to every fowl of the air, to
Dad's like, oh, how much is it?
word is life,
Like
given every
$21.
created word for you, and the soul, the power saw everything he had made, Lord, it was very good. The evening and morning, the sixth day. Right, so it's the 6,000th year. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for that. That's everything you need to know about how the earth was created. You know, so all these things that we're seeing now, you know, this is how everything was created. Now history is played out. Now we're slowly seeing the end of this age and beginning of the new one. All right, so you can go see. You know, people could fucking laugh at me too. I don't give a fuck, bro. So since we read about the beginning, you know, let's read about the end. Matthew 24 and 1, and I'm not going to say Yahushua because there's people around. I'll say Christ. Christ went out, departed from the temple. The disciples came to him to show him the building of the temple. And Christ said unto them, see ye not all these things, realize ye unto you there shall not lay left one stone upon another, it shall not be thrown down. Because he was going to the temple, which is Herod's temple, right back then, right? Because you had, in most recent history before then, you had about 100 years of independence, of Israel having independence once they broke away from the Maccabees, from the Greeks, from the Seleucid Empire. Then after that, you had the Romans came in and basically occupied Judea, which they call Judean, which I think just goes back to like Greek and Latin and shit. It's not the real name; it's just the kingdom of Yahweh, the kingdom of Judah. Right, the southern kingdom, the northern kingdom was already dragged away. It's the land of Assyria. They eventually came over to America. There were some northern kingdom that did stay though, and stay down there. You'll be surprised that some of you men out there, you could possibly be a northern kingdom men. You just couldn't even know it. You know, some of you actually could be. Hell, I mean, I'm doubtful that I could be. I don't know. You know, I just say Judah because you know, I descend from Israelite foreigners who came from Scotland. So I just say Judah because Judah was the one ruling Scotland, Ireland, all those regions out there in Europe. So just to be on the safe side, I just say Judah. But I could be anything. I don't know. Even beyond that, some of us could have once been Dan. You know, Dan just bred in with the tribe, but some of us could have been Dan at one point. You know, you just don't know. Just don't know. If you don't know something, I leave it, man. I'm not scratching my head over things, about things that I just can't understand and that I just don't know. It's just a waste of time. Right? So that's Herod's temple, right? So that happened, right? The rededication of the temple. You can read about that in the book of Maccabees. Soon after that, went down. Basically, the Romans occupied Judea, and after that, what you had was basically Herod. He decided to rededicate the temple, redo the temple, because the second temple wasn't as big as the first temple that Solomon made. So Herod wanted to redo it and make it, bigger. That's what he did. He added a court of the Gentiles, which was for everybody, anyone and everybody, right? Because for generations you've had heathens who have no connections to our culture and our ways, actually following our ways. You can read about that in the book of Esther. Many of those Edomites actually converted in that book. After, of course, we went around and killed our enemies, us Israelites that were in Elam and Persia and these regions. We went around and killed our enemies on that day that Haman supposed that we were supposed to die. You should read about that for yourself. Verse 3. And yes, there should not be one stone upon another, right? And that actually happened back then because you had 70 AD. The Romans actually burnt down the temple. That was actually one of big events that happened. The Romans burnt it down. They say that there was a fight or something, and that Sakari is fighting them or something. Some people say Sakari burnt it down. People say the Romans did it. Right? But it will be burnt down again with nuclear fire. I don't know if they rebuilt it. Verse 3, and as he set up on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to privately say, tell us, when shall these things be? What shall be signs of thy coming or the end of the world? Right? World, eon, age. Right? The signs like coming, the end of the world. So we're waiting right now for Yahushua to come back. Right? And it's funny, they already knew. They already knew. Yeah, because it is in the Old Testament as well. It's written off. Right? It's in first one I'm thinking of is like, right, start on my right hand, so I'll make the enemies a footstool. Right? Well, for Yahushua to make his enemies a footstool means he has to do it. He has to come back. He has to die, he has to come back. Right? So that's what it is, and that's what we're waiting for. Verse 5, Yahushua answered and said to the Tiki that no man deceive you. Information come in my name, say, I am Yahushua. And Yahushua Mashiach. I shall deceive many. Right? So yes, and that's what we're dealing with right now. You have plenty of people that have come out and see that they're Christ, they should follow him and do what he does. They're all lying. We've had people come out saying they're David. And this is obviously not talking about David. But we've had many people come out and see that they're David, and they're not. David was already on the earth, King Masha, as we all know. And he came and he died. And that was pretty much it. He's in the spirit world. He'll come back when, with what 3 and everything pops off. Because he died when Yahushua was the first to rise, as we know. So that's why we don't really fear death. You just die, you come back anyway. It's not that big a deal. It is a big deal, but at the same time, it's not. He'll be back. It's not like what people say, you just die and there's nothing there after that. No. You just wait and he'll come back. He'll come back. Verse 6. We share wars, rumors of wars, see that you be not trouble for those things must come to pass, but it's not yet. We share wars, rumors of wars, see that you be not trouble. Right? You know that this is talking about our time because you have phones, you have the internet, you have the news around you constantly. You don't have to, get things by word of mouth. Like you probably had to back then. You absolutely had to back then. This wasn't fucking newspapers and shit. You had to get things by word of mouth, rumors and stuff like that. But nowadays we have phones, we have computers. Even if you go to a newsstand, every time you go to work, you walk by a newsstand, you'll see it. I know that in the city we have that. You have a newsstand in a deli. So every time you walk by there, you see the newspaper, you look at it real quick, you take a quick glance, and you get news right there. And we're hearing about this stuff constantly. Stuff in the trade is heating up. It will continue to heat up as it's pertaining to prophecy. It's continually to gradually get worse. Russia changed their general, or something like that, or Ministry of Defense chief or something like that. So we just gotta wait and see. Scripture says, wait and pray. So that's what you gotta do. Just wait, pray, see how this all plays out. So I didn't really get to the articles. I feel like I pretty much made my point. I'm not here to fulfill a quota for how long I need to be out. It's not more is better or less is better. It's what's precise is best. Precision is be all end all. So that is pretty much it for me. Read my point. Had a productive day. End of the day. Productiveness is the most important thing. If you plug in half the thumb. And let's get the ones to the elders and apostles, great millstone, for the truth. And that is pretty much it. The one the edified shall run.